Peace to the tribe, peace to the collective. You know, it's your boy, the Hood Mystic. I had a message on my heart and I wanted to share it with y'all this afternoon. The title of this video is "The Only Thing Real is Love." So if you clicked on this video, you want to understand what I'm talking about, stay tuned for the whole video, because my name is Kyrie. I'm an author, psychic, and astrologer, and I care about your spiritual development more than I care about anything else, if you actually wanted to be honest about it. If you peruse my YouTube collection, you will see video after video after video for hours and hours and hours and hours, and all that I've ever really talked about on this channel is spiritual shit. And because of that, I'm not going to do anything different in this video. I'm gonna continue the tradition of discussing spiritual shit. To me, spiritual shit would be the same as breathing. So at a certain point, a motherfucker would say, man, I'm tired of talking about spiritual shit. I would then look at them and say, bro, I'm tired of breathing. So once you stop breathing, you no longer exist. When you no longer deal with spiritual shit, you no longer exist. So to go deeper into what I'm talking about, if you look up the etymology of spirit, you will get what? Breath, breathing. So as long as I'm alive, I'ma live illegal. And when I get on, I'ma put on all my people, right? No, as long as I'm alive, I'ma reference this spiritual shit, this spiritual energy. Now, when you talk about life with normies, muggles, regular folk, things of that nature, they want to talk about everything except, not except, but except love. What would make you think growing up, you might grow up with materialist parents? They say you go to school, you buy you a nice house, you get you a nice car, you get you a fly ass wardrobe, and that's basically it. We gonna have parties every other month. You show up to those parties, you dance your ass off, you dress good, and that's basically your life, son or daughter. The crazy part about growing up in a normative American household is that they do not outline the plan for you to actually exist in the same form as you were created. No matter how dysfunctional your parents' relationship was, there was a moment in time where it was completely functional down to the degree of spiritualism. Meaning that your parents had made love under a sycamore tree, and the love was so good, your mama was ovulating so deeply, and your dad's sperm was so motile, had a lot of motility, had a lot of girth, had a lot of size, had a lot of masculine sexual energy. Your mom probably had on some bell bottoms, ass looking fat, nigga. Your dad said, you know what? I'm hitting that tonight. And they did that dance. They was listening to some Bee Gees, some goddamn Minnie Riperton and shit. Oh yeah, we fucking tonight. Right? And I know there's exceptions to the rules, but I don't want y'all to actually imagine life to be an extreme. I want you to imagine the spiritual life to be an average. A normal process of, damn, that girl look good. Man, that nigga look fine. I think I want to give him some pussy. Now, back to what I was saying about your parents outlining a program of how to come into an existence. Either they didn't know how to tell you, or they just didn't know what to tell you, or they told you and you lived your life right and exact. But usually, if your parents did not have your husband picked out, if your parents did not have your wife picked out for you, they failed you as parents. Because the whole mode of creation for your existence was masculine and feminine energies coming together in the most spiritual way. Because once they had that orgasm, it produced breath. What is breath? Breath is spirit. You are breath. You are spirit. You are a spiritual being. The body is a shell. You are the pure consciousness that exists within the body. So when they say contemplate, what are we talking about? We're talking about with the temple. What is the temple? The body. Why is the body a temple? Because it houses a deity. What is that deity? You, the soul. So the idea of life, the idea of existence is not material. That would be like a house buying property or a house driving a car. You never seen a house driving a vehicle. You never, what you doing? I'm about to go to dinner with this house, because a house is an inanimate object. It has a purpose. It has a function. It could be a temple. It can house your kitchen, your room, but its functionality is limited. So when we, as human beings, imagine ourselves as human beings, we are like houses. As human beings, we are like vehicles. We are inanimate objects. However, when we elucidate or attach our consciousness to the vessel, we are out of alignment. We are not, we are in the realms of illusion. And this might sound crazy, and I know I might lose you, but when you talk to your parents, when you talk to your friends and family, they're not going to tell you about nothing outside. They're not going to tell you about the spiritual love. They're not going to tell you about the power of magnetism. They're not going to tell you about activating your psychic abilities by mating and finding your other half. You should not be focused on nothing else. But if you are a masculine energy, if you are a feminine energy, that means you are broken. That means you are split in half. You get in your vehicle, it takes a positive charge and a negative charge. It don't take a super negative, it don't take a super positive, it take a positive and negative. So when you're talking about psychic abilities, this is the truth. This is why people can tell you anything. Because nothing creates nothing. A house buying a brand new car don't make sense. It's an illusion. That don't even make sense. So in order to get something, you have to be in a relationship. But you can't listen to a nigga and get into a relationship if you don't wash your ass, if you don't brush your teeth, if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't understand how to forgive people, if you don't understand the modality of unconditional love, passive aggression, all of these things that a relationship consists of. So what happens is spiritual beings, they say, you know what? Forget finding my other half. Forget love. Fuck love. I'm going to get my money. I'm going to get my cars, I'm going to get my houses, and I'm going to just be like, yeah, I'm going to just have that shit. You probably like that now. You working, you going in and out your car, you dealing with people and places and things. But when you talk about spiritual love, that part of you could be shut down and shut off. And of course, have at it with the illusions. I'm not here to stop you from living in an illusionary world, from attaching yourself to the vessel, for imagining yourself to be the human when in fact you are the spiritual being housed within the vessel. This is why it's very important to contemplate. This is why it's very important to meditate, so you can see yourself for who you truly are. Because if you do not see yourself for who you truly are as a half energy, as a masculine or feminine energy, you won't understand the purpose of life. This shit is very simple. You need to be in a healthy relationship with your divine masculine or feminine counterpart. And you might be too weak to bring that out. You might have went into relationships previous to understanding spiritual development in your lower self, in your form of lust, or in your form of ignorance. You know, as a man, you can con your way into some pussy. As a man, you can talk your way into some pussy. You don't mean that girl no good. You just horny. So you just say what you need to say, do what you need to do. So when we talking about love and relationships, we not talking about con artists. When we talk about love and relationships, we not talking about how niggas done did you wrong or how women done did you wrong because you went into the relationship outside of your soul because you didn't know who you was. That's like two houses trying to fuck. You can't even fathom that. Can you fathom a house like in another house and then fucking? Of course it's going to say, well, that didn't work out right. Why? Because houses can't fuck. Human beings can't be in relationships. Only souls can be in relationships. What do they call relationships when the relationship is truly spiritually fated? Soulmate. They don't call it human mate. They call it soulmate, meaning that the spiritual essences of feminine and masculine have matched the fuck up. But if you kicking game to a bitch on Tinder or online dating and a nigga saying, well, I'm really just trying to fuck, and you like, well, I'm horny, I'm gonna get this nigga some pussy, but y'all not having open and honest communication, because what are we talking about? Breath. In order for me to verbalize words, I have to compress and expand my breath to create sounds for which you then receive and understand. So even in the beginning, the word was God, and the word was with God, and God was the word, meaning that in your relationships, if you're not communicating openly and honestly, then that's not a relationship. That's like because houses can't communicate. Cars can't communicate unless you have like some shit like the Knight Rider and Kit and things of that nature. But generally, when you hop into your fucking Oldsmobile, it's an inanimate object. Meaning that you can drive down the fucking street, go to a car lot, and you see hundreds of fucking cars. Ain't that crazy? You gotta hop on the fucking bus, and it's hundreds of thousands of cars just sitting in fucking parking lots that they could just let you borrow to take you to and from the work. But if your ass don't get your credit together, your ass don't understand life for real, you won't even have a fucking vehicle. This nigga's out here walking and this car's in the fucking car lot because a car is an inanimate object. All you gotta know is a scam, and a scheme, and you can get you a nice ass car. You can rent a car, get on Turo, get a Uber XL or some shit like that. These are illusions. But even crazier than that, y'all will fall in love with a nigga who got a nice car. If you ain't never had a nigga who had a nice car, if you a type of girl that pick up a nigga and take your nigga everywhere and fall in, and just so happen to find a nigga that got a nice car, you hoes will fall in love with a nigga who got an abundance of inanimate objects. Because you yourself are an inanimate object. Because I'm going to tell you another truth. Wisdom don't just show up and knock on your door. Your soul, in reference to the Hindu scripts, is dormant. If you know anything about dormant, it's not going this is why you got to almost damn near die for you to start imagining that it's more to life than just dick and pussy. Niggas go to jail. Why do people go to jail and decide to join religions and things of that nature? Because something ain't right. And of course nothing ain't right because you don't even have eyes to see. The senses are related to the ego, which is related to the building or the temple. But the temple is nothing. Whatever the temple desires is nothing. The only thing that matters is having a bitch be in love with your ugly, dusty, crusty ass. You ain't never done right. You ain't never had shit. You ain't never been nothing. But God is real because you got a divine feminine to be one with, to be whole with. I'm going to tell you how this shit work. I wake up this morning. My wife tell me about her damn dreams. She tell me about her dreams every morning, but this day was an extra weird one because she told me about some shit, and I said, and I knew what she was saying, but I said, I thought to myself as she was telling me, I will bet $100 million fucking dollars that what this woman just told me is some prophetic ass, psychic ass shit. She said somebody was going to call me and we was going to have a conversation, blah, blah, blah. So once that happens, the day goes on. I just go throughout my day. Guess who calls me? The same person my wife said was going to call me. Guess what he said? He need for me to borrow $50. And how he got laid off from his fucking job. But that wasn't the end of the story. The story goes on and on, but this is just the beginning. I just like, you know what? I got you. Don't even worry about it. He like, man, thank you. I'm like, no worries, man. My pleasure. Because you know what? I knew then, and I know now, and I've been know, but it never fucking ceases to amaze me that when you are whole, it's not an illusion. And if you serious about this shit, you also serious about love. You serious about relationships. You won't distort the spiritual. You won't distort the spiritual development. You won't want anything else. You won't want money. You won't want a car. You won't want shit. If you serious of knowing who you are as a spiritual being and what you want as a spiritual being, it desires to be whole. So when it comes to those inanimate objects, the cars, houses, cribs, things of that nature, you can get that shit because you know how to attract it and magnetize it. It's through understanding the psychic streams, feminine energy, but also being an active, proactive energy within the world. Masculine energy. It's so reliant upon your testosterone. It's so reliant upon your estrogen. It's so reliant on the hormones that you produce when you have an orgasm. So you can't be in your relationships and wanting your boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife to treat you like your mother or your daddy or your father or your sister or your brother or your cousins or that. They gonna accept you forever. Your hair gonna be fucked up. You still their cousin, right? But your husband, oh bitch, you better show out. Oh nigga, you better work out. You better fucking lay her ass out. You better make her ass come. You better give her all of the dick that she need. Take your maca root. Take your ginseng. Take all of the shit you need for you to be in your masculine energy. Don't be no bitch. The moment you a bitch, you like her. You in your feminine. You gotta look at the world and you gotta eat what you kill. You don't know what's gonna happen. But as long as you got testosterone, as long as you know who you are as a spiritual being, you ain't fearing because you're not the shell. You're not the vessel. You the soul. You the spirit that houses the vessel. Does that make sense? One in the chat. I want you to contemplate. It's very important that you contemplate and realize yourself as a spiritual being, and then understand that you're only fooling yourself. You're only fooling yourself if you're trying to take your ass to school. Give me a dumb bitch. I don't care if you went to college. Bitch, I don't care if you know what 2 + 2 is. Do you love me? Do you care for my soul? I don't care what your accolades is. I don't care what your bank account is, ho. Do you love me? You broke anyways. Keep it a buck. You live in check to check anyways. You ain't got it like that. Just because you watch bitches who got it like that don't mean you got it like that. And even if they got it like that, it don't matter. All that matters is that we are whole. Now, you can't teach a man how to be a man, nor can you teach a woman how to be a woman. You got to really understand. You got to look at yourself, look down at your private parts and see if you got a dick or a pussy. If you got a dick, you got to tap into your testosterone, because a lot of times when you raised by your mama, you ain't learning testosterone. Or your daddy a bitch, or your daddy always at work, or your daddy not present, and you a man and you need to really understand some shit. And another thing, if your daddy not at home, that's good. Do you know your daddy? Do your daddy pay rent? If your daddy pay rent, he a good ass motherfucking daddy. Because if he was going to stay at home and baby you and coddle you, guess what? He wasn't ever to pay the fucking rent. So he'd be coddling you and loving you at a homeless shelter. So if your dad pay rent, that's a good ass dad. He was in his testosterone. Because you was unlocking that fucking door every day. Imagine that shit. You walking in and out a fucking door talking shit about your daddy. Going into your room, cutting on the fucking cable, playing with your pussy on a bed that you ain't never bought. Talking shit about this nigga wishing he was home. Home to do what? Disrupt you from your masturbation session? No, go crazy. He working hard for you to have what you got. So when you look at shit, don't look at shit as if, damn, I wish I had this, or damn, I wish I had that, and then create the negative energy that will create the relationship that you're going to attract through each and every relationship that you've been in. Because vessels is going to crash out. It's like crash dummies. You put 2 crash dummies in the car, you ain't never seen no crash dummies take a left, take a right. You know, they just go on one speed, crash out. You meet a nigga you like and you fuck him because you a crash dummy. The nigga already a crash dummy. Because, listen, just because she want to give you some ass as a divine masculine, you got to be like, you know what? We not ready for that. You're not vocal enough. You don't communicate enough. I don't know what's going to happen after I give you this magic stick. But if you a woman and you giving a nigga the pussy signal and he take the pussy signal, just know that nigga ain't gonna work out long term. Why am I saying that? Because if any other bitch come in his life and throw him a pussy signal, he going for it. You ain't special as you think you is. So it's very important to deal with a man that really like your ass, so much so that he spend time with you and don't want to have sex with you. You know what y'all call these type of niggas? Friends. When in fact, that's your other half coming into contact with you, but you don't see it as such because you don't contemplate within yourself enough to even realize who you are. You are not even the vessel. You are the energy that is within the vessel that has created the vessel. So as you understand your energy, you look at your gender parts to understand your energy. Now, some of y'all can look down and some of y'all might have both. You might be in another realm. But if you got one or the other, you know the energy that you carry. So before you meet your divine counterpart, guess what you do? Masculine shit. Before you meet your divine counterpart, guess what you do? Feminine stuff. But understand, you got to teach your daughters this. Because your daughters can be feminine from the time that they have their cycle up in time to the time they turn 18, 19, 20. They're going to be ready for their other half. Don't have your daughters crash out and saying, oh, fuck all of these niggas. And in the random chance that these niggas who are fucking animals, you might find your husband. That's bad advice. Horrible advice. Have your daughter not have sex until she find a divine masculine for which she can hold open and honest communications with. The less niggas she have, the easier it is for her ass to be open and honest and communicative with. She'll have a nigga, do a whole bunch of freaky nasty shit, and then she'll find a new nigga, and because he don't really care about her truth, he just love her, she not going to willingly fork it over. The problem is not open and honest communication for whatever reason. So the older you get, the harder it is just to be honest with a nigga. Because you probably love a nigga that don't fuck with you and all this weird shit. So, of course, we in the space of purifying our minds. We in the space of understanding who we are as spiritual beings if we some old motherfuckers in the game. But we owe it to our children to tell them, hey, I know what the internet showing you. I know what your friends saying to you. I know what society pressuring you to do. But the reality is you are a divine feminine soul and spirit. And sex is how you fuck your life up. So in reference to building love and developing spiritual love, it's purely a communication and conversation. It's not always, and 99% of the time, it's not sexual at all. But you wouldn't necessarily know that. You know that because you will fuck somebody and then you end up hating them. You end up not talking to them. What would happen if you never had sex with them? You probably would have the love. Remember when you first started kicking it and talking, and that magical energy that was between masculine and feminine energies? Well, that was love. But what happened was you talking to that nigga like he a friend, like he a son, when in honesty, you need to talk to him like a lover. Don't mean y'all have to have sex, but y'all need to build up this energy. Y'all need to build up this rapport so you can actually heal one another through positive energy, sexual energy, without having sex. That's very important and very key. But I gotta go work out. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, like it, share it, subscribe if you haven't. But yeah, all of this is because I'm writing a book, and a lot of this shit is just on my mind. So if you're interested in what I'm talking about and want to dive further into the topic, please pre-order my book, A Spiritual Being Having a Human Experience. Will be sent out to everybody the end of January, but you can pre-order now to get an exclusive hardcover. I'm not selling the hardcover to nobody who did not pre-order it. So if you want the hardcover, if you want the leather bound limited edition, you would pre-order it. I'm gonna stop my pre-orders in like 2 weeks, but other than that, the book is a go. Super proud of it, and I hope y'all enjoy it and it helps you along your spiritual development. It's a real spiritual book. It's not an easy read. It's not for the faint of heart, but you know me. I'm coming with the I gave y'all the baby shit with the chakra. I gave y'all the baby shit. So now I'm going deep into my bag. So if you want something that's going to challenge you, something that's going to activate your spirit, that's going to attract what's true, which is love, get the book, pre-order it, and I'll see y'all on the flip side. Peace.